Man, sometimes this whole existence thing is kind of bogus. Like, I don't know if this ever happens to any of you guys, but like, do you ever just get caught up in thinking like not of a higher power or anything like that, but just of this used to happen to me a lot when I was a kid. I began to think of shapes a lot. Like I began to like ponder like that something exists. I exist. Like I can touch this. But why? Like I'm feeling it right now, but it feels almost like there's this almost like a key that won't turn the gears inside the lock. And it feels like if I think about this more, that I'll finally push through. And this is where I'll get to like find out that like the fourth dimension, I have access to it and I didn't know it all along. I don't know if that's what the Matrix was about, but man, I feel it all the time where I'm like, am I almost there? I'm almost there. And it's like, man, I can't. Maybe that would help with other things too. Like once you begin to think about that, where like you unlock that train of thought, maybe it'll be easier to do the other things that you desire, such as like, I mean, it could be anything. It could be fixing your car, uh, learning something on an instrument, maybe even your creative side. But I just, every once in a while, I get so caught up with just existence and how absurd it is. And whenever that happens to me, it doesn't make me angry. It makes me want to be more positive. Like it makes me like I don't know if this happens too. Like I have grim thoughts pretty frequently, but all it does is it makes me like love my wife harder. It makes me hug my kids for longer. It makes me want to have like it if anything it makes me want to do YouTube because it's like, man, like we're existing right now with everyone that is of our time. Like whether you're 10 years younger than me, you're 20 years older than me, whether like you're a newborn baby or if you're a 90-year-old who, I mean, you can only assume that you only have so many years left. We're all on this vessel where we're contributing to a system that we then take from, and you want to have the best outcome. And it seems so dark, but also there's a beauty to it when you get to thinking about how absurd this existence is and how, like, I know there's a lot of people who experience the worst end of it, but when you get to be born to one of the better ends of it, like I wasn't even born a rich kid, and I'm still like, man, this it's absurd how good life can feel sometimes. And I've been home for about a month and a half because I had a lot of sick and vacation time racked up, and my wife just had a kid. So I've had a lot of time to just kind of ponder about this stuff. And my handle on YouTube as of right now, it's Turo Martin 2080. That's a shortened version of my name. And the 2080 is not just a random set of numbers. What it is it's I always keep that number in my mind because the same way that I think it's equally absurd that we exist, I think it's absurd the amount of time that we lose because of providing for our family, because of what time is valued as. And we set the market based on what we hire ourselves to be. But that's the thing is like it's kind of hard to stay at bay when you're hungry or you're getting cold because you don't have a roof over your head. And they kind of, if you don't stay back long enough, whatever they were willing to pay you, man, they they're gonna pay you that if you say, yeah, I'll do it for that price. But if you could have just stayed back for maybe 1 year, now they're willing to pay you so much more, and then that could affect the quality of your life ultimately. But the thing about that is at minimum, like as of right now, in November of 2025, I know there was talk of change coming, but I don't know how that's gonna work, man. We have a tendency to kind of get caught in a habit and stick with it. This goes for everything, whether it's our laws, societal rule. We get locked in, and it's hard to change it up because those legalities were put there to protect something. And now, if we've reached like a new level of enlightenment where we recognize that that was a little bit of an overkill, it's hard to then retract that law. And but here's an example of that though. So minimum wage, I don't know if, because I don't keep up with this stuff. So minimum wage right now, if I went to work, there would be a poster that's going to say that the minimum wage is, I think it's still 7.25. This is what I mean by, if you can hold back just a little bit, the market will adjust itself. Is that because these people have the money to pay you? Just it's how quick do you need a job, which I'm not going to lie to you. The situation I've put myself in, if I didn't have a job, it would take me about a month before I'd be screwed. And that's not good. And I do not get paid 7.25. I get paid, I think, in the 20s, which is fairly okay, but I'm one income in the house. So, I mean, make of that what you will, I mean, nationwide you kind of have an idea of what rent and all that is. But here's what I was getting at. It's absurd that we exist, but it's even more absurd what they demand of you. And I'm not saying that, like, if you started your own business, you wouldn't spend more than half your time working toward that business. But the thing is if you did that, that would then benefit you tenfold. Like it would benefit you, your spouse, your potential kids, your family. That could take care of it all. And there's a lot of risk involved with that, but at the same time, something that bothers me lately is that it's taboo to have your kids around at work. And I get it, like it ruins production, there's insurance risks because of, people getting hurt, and they shouldn't be there in the first place. But what sucks about that is your kids, you could go your entire life and your kids not know what you do. And I never understood why people wanted to hide their kids from what they do. Like it just, because I'm going to treat those kids as my equal. This generation, not just my children, but any kid that has to come across me in my life, I'm going to want them to do the absolute best that they can do for themselves. And I understand that there's things that we keep from kids, but that doesn't feel like one of the things we should keep from them. And the reason for my handle being 2080 is because that is the minimum hours that you're expected to work for a full-time job. That's a lot of time. 40 hours a week over the course of the year. This is with no OT. Is 2,080 hours. So, like, just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, whenever your boss is asking you, like, hey, do you think you could stay for this? Or if a coworker says, hey, do you think you can cover my overtime? They don't mean to be disrespectful to you. If anything, I understand that it's just a small request, right? Like, maybe, I mean, I know how life is, man. Sometimes something will just come up in the spur of the moment, and schedules at work are way in advance. So whenever you start thinking of like, oh man, like someone tells you like, hey, something's going down in 2 weeks. You want to roll? And then here you are going, yeah, 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 I'll be there. And then you get to work and you realize because you're not living 2 weeks ahead, you're thinking, oh man, I'm on call that week. So here you are, trying to ask someone to cover your call, or like even if it's just, hey man, can you do it for just this duration of time where I'm trying to live my life? Can you give up the little bit of freedom you get? And like that's the other absurdity of it too, is like school is helping you get prepared for what life is like. Like I heard around here recently, there's a charter school. This is why I don't know if it'll change in the future. There's a charter school not too far from where I'm at that they do 4-day school weeks. And it's like, what are they setting those kids up for once they get out? Because they're going to have been doing 4 days a week, and most of them, they're going to be pretty successful. And like, unless you're like in the medical field, I guess, you're working 5 days a week and then you get the 2 days off. Like, that sucks. And I know most of us are roped in on it because when Saturday and Sunday come around, when I try to go to the grocery store, it is crammed. Like it's packed up like something blew up. And it's just uh when I the absurdity of existence and how I know most of us are caught in the same loop. And like I know what I'm feeling when I'm getting back to work on Monday, tired. I know that a bunch of other people are feeling it too because the traffic, you can feel it. You can feel the rush. You can feel it in just the time of the morning every day from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can feel the almost like the stocks. You can just feel it just going up and down, the busyness, the chaos, the rush. Should I do this? Should I not do that? And it's it's ridiculous, man. But yeah, I guess that's it.